Anna is a very special friend. She's an English teacher at a local college at a town called Peñamayor, and I spent all today with her and the students, helping them with their English. It was a really lovely experience. As a pilgrim, I was kind of a bit of a favourite of theirs. They made quite a fuss of me. They couldn't believe someone as old as me could attempt to walk across Spain. One of them, I asked one of them how old they thought I was, and she said 82. Anyway, I had a lovely day. Now this is Mara and Twitter. Now I've been to Anna's house I think 4 times before. I've never heard Mara bark once. She's a very gentle dog. All she does all day is sleep. Until now. So last night I went to bed about 10:30, hoping for a good night's sleep. And unfortunately I didn't get one. Not long after I went to sleep, there was a lot of commotion going on behind the house. And this time of year, apparently, in the spring, there's some sort of migration of boar and deer, and Mara took offence to it for some reason. And so she barked all night. I got to sleep about 5:30. And now I can't wait to get back to the more familiar sounds of snorers and doors banging and sneezing and coughing of the albergues. But still, I had a lovely time. Thanks, Anna. I caught the train back from Oviedo early in the morning, and I got back safely to Leon. It was a really beautiful trip. And what was about to happen to me was, again, one of the greatest days of my life. This is Joe's story, an incredible story, and if you don't cry when you've heard it, you ain't got a soul. So here's what's happened. So I'm sat in the middle of Leon in front of its beautiful cathedral, and there's a music festival going on. There's lots of children dancing and laughing, having a nice time, hundreds of them wearing red bandanas and white t-shirts. And a lady came up to me and she just said to me, "Are you Mike? Are you the guy who writes those cool posts?" Now I haven't told you this, but I actually started writing a blog quite early on, and it was getting shared through various Facebook groups. And I was actually being followed by thousands of people all over the world, including pilgrims that were on the Camino now. So it was quite often people would come up to me that were following me and ask me how I am. And so Jo had done that. So she said to me, "I want you to tell my story. I have a story to tell that can save people's lives. If they trust in God, He can save you." So we sat down together on a bench surrounded by these children. We held hands, and she opened her heart out to me. We cried a lot. So this is her story. So Jo is a successful businesswoman from New Zealand. She's a powerlifter, actually holds world records. She's an incredible woman. But she had this dark secret, she said, this blackness inside her. And every now and then this mood would just overpower her. She just couldn't get rid of it. She tried to kill herself. She told me that when she was 8 years old, she went into the garage in the garden and opened up a bottle of tomato fertilizer and swallowed it to try and kill herself. It was all a very overwhelming experience for me. So Jo was a devout Christian. She told me she'd had this problem for 48 years, and she'd come to the Camino for an answer, like many of us have. She was searching for the truth, searching for God to come inside her, and He did. He answered her prayers. So at first things didn't go well. She'd walked from France to Leon and found no answers. She wanted to meet a priest. She couldn't. The priest couldn't speak English. She thought God had abandoned her. But then she was going to quit. So she was about to make plans to fly back to New Zealand. And she decided to get a tattoo. And she's in this tattoo studio telling her the story, the same story I'm sharing with you up to this point, to an artist who couldn't speak English, but they managed to get through to each other. She said it was a very emotional thing. And she was getting a tattoo to hide some quite ugly white lines on her wrists where she tried to harm herself. So she said to me, Mike, as soon as a needle left my arm, God came inside me. She squeezed my hand tight as she was telling me the story. He came inside me. He took all this evil away, this blackness I had inside me all this time. Her eyes were lighting up. And she said, I know I'm all right now. It's all gone. It's never ever going to come back again. I just know I'm strong. Please share this story with people. Believe in God and He can save you. So we hugged each other one last time. She thanked me. She said goodbye and then she was gone. She was lost among the crowd of dancing children and I just didn't know what to make of it all. Please tell my story was the last thing she said to me. I want the world to know the power of God. So I sat on the bench for quite some time, trying to compose myself. I mean, how can you overcome something like that? And yes, it was another miracle. So I set off walking, but I couldn't have any enthusiasm at all. I couldn't think. I was overwhelmed by it all. And after only 3 or 4 miles, I stopped on this motorway, the N120, where I just stopped at a cafe called Casa Adobe, right next to a car showroom, Hyundai car showroom, I remember it. And I sat down, had a coffee, and opened up my 4-inch iPhone and started to write it, and the words just came. And within an hour I'd written 2,000 words, and it all seemed quite reasonable and quite an interesting story. It was all so overwhelming. And so I posted it on Facebook, as I'd done all the other days. And then I started walking again. Again, I just so overwhelmed, and I only managed to walk 11 kilometers today. I stopped at a place called Valverde de la Virgen. It was the shortest length I'd walked on my entire Camino. And early that night I got a message from Jo thanking me for the story. She was really pleased with what I'd done, which was so relieving to me. And we're still in contact today. She's safe and well and happy and no bad thoughts. So Jo, thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. I hope we've helped people. I'm sure we have. My favourite pilgrim. God bless you, Jo.